Hello, my friends. This is RJ Redden, and you are watching, listening to, interacting with in some way the bot signal. If you don't know me, entrepreneurs hire me to rocket launch their marketing message because most are shouting into a black hole, or they're a carbon copy of absolutely everyone else out there, or they cannot get engagement to save their lives. So I create messaging that skyrockets engagement and builds your bottom line. Bottom line, I said that twice, didn't I? That's fine. Bottom line, you got to get your bot out there. You've got to be bot-tastic in order to sell smarter, not harder. And welcome to the bot signal. The bot signal. Sorry, I can't talk today. That's a problem because I'm on a live stream right now. Today we're going to get a little personal today. We're going to talk about why I got into chatbots. And we're going to talk about 3 great big lessons that I've learned from this process. It's been 2 years and some change. Lots of change, actually. See what I did there. It's been 2 years and some change since I've started working on these, and I want to talk to you about some of the biggest lessons that I've learned and things that you can benefit from as well. So let's get started. Why I got into chatbots. Let's start with that right there. Why did I do this thing? So for many years, I was a person who did like technology marketing help for small businesses. I helped people create websites, social media accounts. I also randomly fixed computers. Any kind of, basically I was everybody's go-to IT tech girl. Now, that's a fine occupation. But one of the problems with it is that you've got to know everything about everything, which is not really possible. It might have been possible in 1973, okay? But it's not possible to know everything about everything in computers. And I kept running into situations where I was sort of learning on the fly. But my favorite stuff was marketing stuff. Because, I suppose you can own a business without having a presence online. But it's real hard. These days, spreading the word about yourself. Certainly, there's the networking meetings. Certainly, there's offline ways to do this. But online existence is kind of a validation check for a lot of people. And so, having that online, having a website, a good one. having social media presence, that was huge. And I was always teaching people how they could create this for themselves. I would do it for them, and then I'd say, okay, here is how you maintain and progress this thing. And it was exciting to me to do those marketing jobs. I loved the marketing jobs because once you know sort of the ground rules, then it makes you much more powerful. I would sit with people who were having trouble with the basics, and I would teach them how to upload a video and on YouTube. And we would talk about, all of the different patterns of things that you could do. And I would teach them one thing that day. And then the next week they'd come back to me and be like, hey, I took what you taught me and I transferred it into this thing too. And people were so excited about their marketing and feeling powerful over technology. To me, that was the end all be all of absolutely. That was like, I was put on this planet to do that. But these things that I was doing, the social media setup, the website building, all of that stuff, the importance of those things fades over time, and the difficulty of getting yourself out there and actually making a connection with someone who might buy from you, that fades over time too. That's the thing. That's the most important thing, is if you're an entrepreneur, and we all are, If you're an entrepreneur, then you are tasked with making connections with people, making connections with new people, and serving your clients. Those are our two jobs, right? And with the connection part, with the making connections with new people, it's a matter of time before you need to make more connections. You know what I'm talking about. Once you've made this connection, okay, this is going to turn into this kind of relationship. Excellent. Clock starts ticking on the new one. Clock starts ticking on, okay, who else am I going to make a connection with? And we absolutely have to make those connections or our businesses die. Our businesses die without new water flowing into the glass. That was really important to me. And over time, I was becoming disillusioned by the very stuff that I was teaching about. For instance, I'm teaching somebody how to set up a Facebook page account, and I have to give them realistic expectations on how many people are going to actually view these posts, and whether or not you should set up an automatic social media service and fill it with articles, because if only 2% of people are seeing that, how worth it is it to you? That was really getting me down, honestly. I was really becoming dissatisfied with, okay, now you've taken it away from small business owners again, this opportunity. And then I ran into bots. I ran into bots because of two clients of mine. You know who you are. One of which had asked for an accountability system that she could use without leaving Facebook. And the other one was a client of mine that I knew was going to get into these things. I knew it. She was talking about it. And I knew that unless I jumped in there first and started rolling with it, then I might have to fix some problems soon, because this client was a go-getter and a jump in with both feet firster. Those are words that I've just made up. So I made an example bot for someone is how it happened. It's how it all started. I just made an example bot, and I started to really get into the conversational aspect of these things. I'll tell you, the very first bot that I made was Accountability Bot. It was the accountability bot that I had made for another client. I put that out there. Actually, she put it out there, and some other people put it out there. And then, boom, I had 70 people in my bot overnight. And I had 4 phone calls, all of which turned into work. And I was like, this right here, this is the connection that I've been really seeking to make. This is a conversation. It's not yelling at someone to get them to buy your stuff. It's not making them feel guilty because they're not buying your stuff, or making them feel like they've missed the bus for not buying your stuff. This is a conversation figuring out what this person really needs. I was enthralled by that. I mean, I was so taken away. I was so blown away that, I took me 2 weeks to decide I'm not doing this other stuff anymore. It's not working for me. And it's not working necessarily for the people that I'm teaching. They know how to do stuff. They're more powerful, but nobody's looking at your website. Very few people look at it. It's there for, an accountability or a validation check. So I wanted to get into something more interesting, more exciting. I found this way to have conversations with people online at scale. What does that mean? It means that I can take the conversation that I would normally have at a network meeting with people, or a conversation that I'd have while I was out at a party with people. It means I could take that conversation and I could program it into the bot so that if 100 people hit on my bot, I'm having 100 conversations. If 1,000 people hit on it, I'm having 1,000 conversations. That's what at scale means. Conversations, we've only been able to have them one-to-one, one-to-one live, got to be there for it. Problem with that, wow, you run into a lot of people that you might not want to be doing business with. 8 out of 10 of them are like, I don't know if this person really needs what I have. And then you end up making small talk and looking for the next person that you need to talk to, probably surreptitiously. You have to be sneaky about it, but you've got to identify, okay, who am I going to talk to next? You have 8 conversations that aren't worth much. And then you have 2 conversations that you're going to follow up on. How long does that take? An hour, 2 hours plus drive time. It's difficult. It's great when it works, but it is a time sucker when it doesn't. But if I can have that kind of same conversation online with you, and if I can figure out what you want and need, and if I can point you in a right direction that has value for you, then how fabulous is that? That's why I got in, because I was amazed with the prowess, the reach, the intimacy I can have with other people when I don't have to be standing there for that. We're going to catch up here. Teresa's here. Hey. Having a presence online is hard. Want to redo your bot. Yeah, your vision didn't come to life the way you thought it would. That happens sometimes. I'll tell you that my first, gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've redone some of them. Because every time you do a bot, and potentially too, when I have an agency, I've got clients, I've got a lot of stuff going on, but even when you are just doing your own, you have to be able to adjust to your audience, adjust to what they want to hear. And sometimes that can be really difficult because it's like, hey, I spent all this time. It's my baby. Why am I tearing this apart now? It's that sunk time fallacy or sunk cost fallacy. I can't remember what it is. There's a name for it. That not wanting to move on to new things because of how much time and money you've already spent. I know. The cool thing was with bots, Teresa, you can change little by little. You can test and tweak. If you're willing to devote some time to that project, you can test and tweak and find out what works. You don't have to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater to start again. Absolutely not. You can test and tweak with what you have. Try something different. You can try something different tomorrow. See what your response is. Denise Thomas is here now. Now we're having a party. Hello, darling. So let me go back to my little points here. And by the way, everyone, I have to shut off this banner because I need to show you something. Stacy Bryuka sent me this shirt. Painting with Darth Ross. Happy little Death Star. You're seeing this? She bought that for me on Etsy, I believe. And she had it sent to me. I just want to thank you, Stacy, for this t-shirt because it is just fabulous. It has given me so much joy. Stacy Bryuka, you guys, if you don't know her, get to know her. She's a productivity coach. She's a marketing coach. She's a great coach, and she'll work with you. So get to know that Stacy if you can. Okay, back to the material. Got to be serious here. All right. So this first one, lesson 1, you guys are going to know this one already, okay? And I know I've talked about this many, many times, but it just bears repeating that no matter what you read, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what changes, what platforms are making, and all of these new advancements and all of that kind of stuff, I put this lesson first because it's the cornerstone of what you need. Conversation and connection. At the heart of what bots are, it's conversation and it's connection. It's an entirely different format to communicate with people in. Now, in the world today, people are just begging to be seen and heard. What does that mean? They are begging to, give their opinion on something. There's so much information that's just vomited at all of us every single day, every day of the week, twice on Sunday. I mean, we have so much information coming our way that is completely, most of the time, immaterial to our needs. You know, when I'm, do you remember commercials? They still exist, I'm told. But TV commercials, now we're going to yell at you and turn up the volume about this brand new car that you should buy. I'm not, I have wheels. I'm good. Why are they shouting this message at me? Because I'm watching this particular TV show. I mean, so much is yelled at us every single day without, billboards are an interruption in your view. Commercials are an interruption in your favorite show. Ads can be an interruption as well. So many things, so many ways people are finding a way to advertise to us. And most of it doesn't make sense for us. Most of it's not stuff we even need. So how do bots differ from that? You get to find out whether people are interested in your stuff or not. You can ask them and then give them a yes-no path. Genius, right? You can say, hey, are you interested in hearing about blah? And you can give them a button that says not right now and a button that says, sure, tell me. And the people that click sure, tell me, you tell them about it. The people say not right now, give them a nice little, inspirational picture and some love or maybe something funny and send them on their way for the day. And when you have a next broadcast to send out about that thing, don't include them. Easy. It's easy. You can use this conversation. We use conversations already in our one-to-one daily life as filtering mechanisms. You can use that same process with a bot. You can use that same process to decide, is this person going to be somebody who makes a transaction with me? Is this a person who's going to collaborate with me on a crazy cool, super cool project? Is this person going to be a joint venture partner of mine that helps me grow my business and I help them grow their business? What's it going to be? There's so many ways that relationships sprout up. Relationships come from conversations and connections. That is the way that it is. I've got how many likes on my Facebook page or how many friends on my profile, how many connections on my LinkedIn profile. Do I know most of those people? No. Do we have a relationship or a connection? No. Have we ever even had a conversation? Again with the no. So what do we do about that? We're all broadcasting. We're all broadcasting on all the channels that we can possibly broadcast on. Click this, come over here, do this thing. If that thing that you're trying to lead them to be doing right now does not include a conversation with your bot, then it might be less successful. It's just what I'm saying. It's my opinion. I'll always note my opinions for you. So conversation and connections is what it's all about. It's what it's all about. A lot of people doing lead magnets to bots nowadays. To bots where you can then handhold them through a process. You can handhold them through onboarding. If they're a client, you can, you can handhold them through a program of yours. I have a couple of folks who are authors, and they have it so that people can read excerpts of their books. There's so many things that you can do to create that conversation and to create that connection. And that's what it's all about. It's not about clicks and conversion. Let me say this. My friend Tammy Lane says this. I give her full credit. Clients aren't clicks. Or maybe it's the other way around. Clicks aren't clients. They're not. If you're spending all day reading your statistics, love it. Some people are totally data people. I'm not. How many conversations have I had? How many connections have I made? That's what my bot is about. Open rate is great. Love it. That's wonderful. Comma, however, it leads a lot of people to investigate bots. But that isn't what bot is about. The open rate is not what a bot is about. So I've beaten that one to death. Let's go back to the comments. All right. Yes, I thought I was giving what was needed, but it's not. I just need to create a transition game plan. Yeah, do that. Do that and do it before the end of the year when the rules change. The shirt is everything. Yeah, the shirt is everything. I completely agree. Now, lesson 2. Another major lesson I've learned about bots. A lot of times you will see people talking about funnel creation. I'm not against funnels, but when people are designing for these funnels, they're designing not for the client experience. They're not thinking about the client's goals necessarily. They're thinking about their goals. I have read so many chatbots that, that suck. There are a lot of chatbots that suck out there, people. Anyway, I have read an awful lot of chatbots that are just, I've written it for my goals only. I've written it to get some butts in the seats on my live stream. I've written it to get some sales on my program. I've written it to do, those kind of bots are incredibly transparent. We have all been sold to so much in our whole lives and we just hate it, don't we? I do. If you take a moment and place yourself in their shoes and design an experience for their goals, they'll remember you. If you give them value that has something to do with their goals, they'll come back to you. And if you can create a relationship with them through that bot, they will love you. This is the essential part of what I'm talking about. Designing an experience for their goals shows that you care about them. We've been afraid to do this, my friends. We've been afraid to do this because, geez, if I design an experience for every single person's goals, then I'm designing like an individual experience for everybody I know. And how am I going to even lead them through that? And that's going to take so much time. And all of this stuff, right? It seems like you're creating a monster. You design an experience for their goals. I can kind of cover about 80% of people's goals, but I'm not really sure. I know. Before bots, I was also afraid to do this. Afraid because it just sounded like, let's open up that can of worms that is an endless can of worms because everybody you meet has different goals, right? So in one way, we've been afraid to do it. In another way, we've been afraid to design experience for people's goals because we're guessing at what those goals are. We're guessing at what they find valuable. In a chatbot, I can learn exactly what your goals are. I can learn exactly what you find valuable. All I have to do is ask you. If you're engaged with my bot, you'll be willing to give an answer. Enough people give answers, then I start to get a picture of what my actual audience thinks in their own words. No more guessing, people. Your market research is right in your bot. It's your audience right this minute. It's that thing. I say this because I was taught how to do market research by a coach who shall remain nameless because the experience was completely worthless. I'll tell you that. A coach that I've never spoken about on this show and certainly never indicated by name, but the way I was taught to do market research was to go out to Amazon and to go out to YouTube and like look at comments and stuff that people were making that were relatively close to the field that I was in and collect all of that and put that language in emails and stuff. Okay. Worthless. Nobody reads emails. Nobody reads those things. And I was guessing. I was like, okay, this person has a big audience. They sort of do what I do. I wonder if I could. It was all of that. Why not just ask people, hey, what do you want to hear? What's important to you? What would be really valuable to you right now? If I gave you this, would you like it? Those types of questions is all the market research you need. You don't have to go into 78 different websites and look at the comments and copy and paste into a spreadsheet. You don't have to do this. And I won't do it. I just ask people. So the chatbot gets me informed as to who my people are and what they want. When I'm informed, then I don't have to be afraid. Because when I look at the individual journeys of people, sometimes people who come into my chatbot don't need what I have. I give them lovely parting gifts. Absolutely. I want them to have a good time because maybe someday in the future they're going to know somebody who wants what I have. There are people, and I've got probably 5 major pathways in my bot. That fits most everybody who comes, because I want those pathways, those journeys to align with their goals. I also want them to align with my goals. My goal is to create relationships through conversation and connection. So I'm going to take those opportunities, design an experience. Don't write a chatbot. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit hard sometimes. Again, if you need a professional, I'm right here. But when you're designing that experience, think about all of the different senses. Yes, people are reading your chatbot, but think about all the different ways. Think about using audio. Think about using video. Think about using these things to create a little Reese's Pieces trail right back to where you are. It feeds them a little bit every time you put one of those Reese's Pieces down, and then you can work people back to where you are. The people that end up coming to you are not going to waste your time because they're ready to do something. For me, that's been the case. And for my clients, that's been the case. Okay. Design the experience that you're designing, the little chatbot path that you're having people walk. Design that experience according to their goals, not yours. When you design it according to your goals, if your goals are conversion, conversion. I've always hated that word for a number of reasons. Wink. Anyway, if that's your only goal, then maybe one of the other pathways, one of the other marketing techniques is going to be best. Because this one, if you want people coming back to your bot, you've got to design the experience for their goals. So moving on to lesson 3. Okay, this is a big one that I have been learning lately, and this one is awesome. This one, it was something that people have been kind of asking me about, and I did learn something big here. Lesson 3, nurture versus lead generation. There's absolutely no one, unless you build chatbots for a living, no one's going to come to you because you have a chatbot. You can't put that out there. You can't go, hey, my services are great and I have a chatbot, and have the chatbot be the reason they come to you. No. A chatbot is a channel of how you talk to them. Gotta love it. But that is not the reason people are going to come to you. People are going to come to you because of your talents, because of your offerings, because you represent some value to them. That's why they're going to come to you. A chatbot is not lead generation. This is not you put a chatbot out there and if you build it, they will come. No. They're going to come to you because of your lead magnets. They're going to come to you because of the things that you offer them. They're going to come to you because they're enlivened, excited, enticed by something you put out into the internet, and then you feed them into the chatbot The chatbot will hug them. The chatbot, if you want it to, the chatbot will take care of them, nurture them, figure out why they're there, give them some value for being there, lead them on to a different experience if they want it. The chatbot is very, very powerful. If you think of it like this, if you walk into a party, there's a host. The host doesn't lead the party. The host is going to take your coat. The host is going to show you where the beverages and the bathroom maybe are, and maybe drag you into a different room and say, oh, I've been waiting to connect you to people forever. Now's my chance. They drag you in and they introduce you to somebody, and boom. The host doesn't leave the house. The host is not busy out there getting people to come to the party. The party is happening and the host needs to stay there. There are people that with chatbots expect to build a chatbot and have that, generate the leads. It's your offer that does this. It's your offer, whether it's a lead magnet, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a challenge, whether, whatever transformation you're offering out there. That's what's going to lead them in. It is a nurturer. It is a great big party where we provide people value, help them have fun and learn something at the same time, onboard them into your big stuff, educate them about your topic. We do so many awesome, wonderful things in there. But your lead magnets, your ads that you have running, your challenge that you're going to put on next month, your roadmap to your event that's going to happen, these are the things that draw people in. So you got to think about what you're offering. You've got to think about what you're offering, because that's going to get new blood into the bot. Gosh, you know what? I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful in just kind of talking about the different things that you can do in your bot. Those are my biggest lessons in the past 2 years and some change. I've been talking about this stuff. It's so important to me. I'm so passionate about Chatbot because it's not just another channel. I get a lot of people asking me about that. They're like, oh, now I have to be somewhere else. You don't. You don't have to be somewhere else. You don't have to have one of these things. It's okay. But for me, it represents a sea change in the way that we relate to other people as marketers. It is a leap back into our humanity, our need to be seen, heard, and cared about, our need to share our opinion every once in a while. It represents a whole big pile of cool goodness you can get into with figuring out what your people really want instead of guessing, and then delivering that value one Reese's Pieces at a time until you have something of value to offer them. My speaking coach, I talk about her all the time, Jane Powers. I'm going to be at her event in November 13th through 16th. It's going to be fabulous, darlings. And if you want to spend some time with me, you need to show up there. Anyway, she always says that when you never tell a story without a point and never tell a point without a story. That's something that she talks about all of the time. When you're in a chatbot, you can put your best foot forward in a conversation. Hey, have you ever been at a networking meeting or at a party or meeting people in some capacity at an event maybe, and maybe you're not having your best day? Maybe you don't feel great. Maybe you're having a bad hair day. I never have a bad hair day. My hair's too short. Thank you, Sister Renee, for cutting my hair. It's beautiful today. What if you're having a bad shoe day? What if you are stepping all over everything that you're saying because you're saying it for the first time? Darlings, if you have a chatbot, you put your best foot forward every single time, consistently. Your hair's fabulous. Don't worry about it. what you're going to say next, you've looked over it 3, 4, 5 times. You've tested it with different people. It's fabulous. Those are conversations that run automatically in the background. You don't ever have to worry about. To me, that's my that's why it's my passion now. That's why I will not stop with chatbots until every last person has heard about them. That is why I want to bring them to the world, because it represents a change in the way that we relate to people. It's much more human than anything that's out there right now. And since now you can put them on your own website, you don't need to worry about what all of these other social media networks are going to decide next. You don't have to worry about what your page reach is, your Facebook page reach. You don't have to worry about any of those factors. The only factor you have to worry about is, are you creating a good experience with people? Are you giving them a value that they seek? Are you giving them opportunities to work with you? Are you doing these things? So that's it for today, my darlings. I will be back next Tuesday. Who knows what the topic will be? I'll probably decide Monday night. That's what I do. As always, if you ever want to chat with me and my bot, just give me a topic, something like that. Just go right ahead, because it is my honor to bring you these, and my honor to give you some things that you want. So, darlings, thank you for being here today, and I will see you all in a bot.